Thanks for tuning in to another All the Feelings joint.
Want to skip those pesky ads and get early access?
Become a member at allthefeelings.fun/join and discover all the other great perks that come with it.
Jazz.
All the Feelings presents
Still Adulting.
this episode.
Car maintenance and the fine art of laundering.
Oh, Pete. Welcome back, everybody.
Tom.
Pete, we have been podcasting together for what, like 29 years?
Yeah, somewhere.
I don't
around
know.
there.
It feels like a long time. And even after all that time, you know what I love? I feel like I can still surprise you. I can still surprise you.
Okay.
Because, and hold on to your hats and put on another pair of socks because your first pair is going to be blown off. Would it surprise you to know that, Pete, I, Tommy Metz III, am not a car guy?
Subset 1.
I am not a car guy.
Yep. Sorry, ladies. I am not the gearhead that you surely have made me out to be.
Sorry, I was just queuing up Grease Lightning to play as your backing track. Maybe I should go back to something else.
I mean, I'm sure people are like, wait, this clearly can't be the Tom Metz that I know. He's like the Dax Shepard of this podcast. Nope. Unsurprisingly, I have never really cared about cars and I have no idea how they work. And so we thought maybe I would be the perfectly imperfect person to talk about adulting and car maintenance. And I've never been a car guy. It's not like I grew out of it. Like I had friends stereotypically that had like Lamborghini posters on their bedroom walls growing up. And I maybe would have, but there were just so many Rick Astley posters. There was just no room. All the Rick Astley. So before I dive in more to my nonsense, because you are an interesting person in that you are really handy in certain things and not as handy in certain things. You are a technical marvel. We call you the Peerless Pete Wright because you make all the beeps and boops work for 900 podcasts. Are you a car guy? We've never really talked about you and cars, I don't think.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I love cars. I do love cars.
You do? Okay.
I do. And like, for example, of all the garbage on my walls, like what you can't see because it's out of focus, I actually have the die-cast models of the Ford GT40 Mark II and the Ferrari 330 P3. And I've had them forever in a collection of cars, but I kept them. And those were the cars that were famously raced in the 24 hours at Le Mans, showcased in Ford versus Ferrari.
Right. And we've talked ad nauseum about you and your love. You're fairly
F1.
nascent, if that means, of F1. Oh, of course you're a car guy. I'm such a dummy.
Yeah.
I promise.
I would say it's not even nascent anymore. Now it's going on like 10 years. So
is it really that long? Wow.
Yeah, I do find I mean, I have always loved cars. I love new cars. I love shopping for cars. I love buying cars. I do love that. I am not handy with anything other than driving cars, though.
Like getting in there and diagnosing and fixing things.
Right.
Okay.
Especially anymore. You just can't. But I will tell you, can I tell you one aside?
Please.
When I was 17 years old, there was a former racer in Colorado Springs, Colorado, who set up a business called Master Drive. And he would get people, it was set up a course, and he would go out to the Sky Sox baseball stadium, and they would wet the stadium, and it was an ice and crisis driving school. And so after you get your license, and it was open for adults and teens and everything, you'd bring your own car, and they would teach you how you'd put a helmet on, right?
Oh.
And they would teach you how to drive your car in ice and crisis situations. And so I was doing slaloms in reverse. I was doing slaloms forward. They would teach you how to throw your car into a handbrake spin and then get out of it and recover. Like it was a serious, felt like stunt driving. And it was an incredible experience. And I've never felt really more alive. I don't think I ever lost that experience of just driving and the exhilaration of driving. So I love that.
Wow.
Now the floor is yours.
And growing up in Colorado, like now all I the only thing to fear is other people and
Yes.
all the other cars in Los Angeles. But with the elements, like learning how to steer into the skid, all of those basic things that you learn, how to stop just sort of spinning around, pump the brakes, don't just shove them up. Those have still stayed with me. I just have nowhere to put them.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up when you were 17. I'm not going to give you a history of all of my cars, but I want to talk about one in particular.
Okay.
Because it definitely gets into car maintenance. My first car was a used Jeep Cherokee. What? Okay, so that tells you I had trouble with the name of the car. It was a used Jeep Cherokee, and I called. Oh, do you name your cars your personal cars?
I did for a while.
Did you?
I did.
You grew out of it. I still haven't.
I don't. I think I had my cars for so long. It's just, and once you're co-owner of a car, it's. I don't know why. She doesn't get into it. It's like less cute when it's just me. When you're like, she's like, oh, do you mean the Hyundai? Right. Right.
Well, my first car, I called it Peace. And that was short for piece of. You can go ahead and fill in the rest. Because I'm jumping ahead. It turned out to be such a lemon that we threatened legal action against the dealership. And they ended up giving us a huge deal on the next replacement car. Okay. So let's talk about Peace for a second. And this does have a point. Is this car had a super cool bonus function where the keys, this is way before like key fobs and stuff. Keys and ignitions were pretty important. Not to this car. The keys could just fall out and the car would just keep driving. And I'd have to sometimes, I would park and go to take my keys out and be like, ugh, they're already out. And I'd have to search under the floorboard for the keys. And there was this one time that a friend of the show, he's come up, Scott, crazy Lamb.
Yep.
This would have been in either junior high. No, this would have been in high school. He was in shotgun. I was driving us. We were in Table Mesa in Boulder. And I don't remember what I was doing, but I was annoying him. I was making fun of him or making fun of the way he talked like this. And to get back at me, he rolled down his window, leaned over, took the keys out of my car and threw them out the window. And we were going 35 miles an hour. And I was like, why? And we had to like slam on the brakes, park in the middle of the street and go find the keys to my car that was still running. So I could actually lock it. Outstanding.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's one other big story about this car. And my apologies, there's a really good chance that I've told this story. I don't know when it would have come up, but I think we were also in Table Mesa. Everything bad happens in Table Mesa. The thing about this car was the steering wheel was loose. Like it would like move up and down.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Almost like, and sometimes it would feel so loose where I'd have to like kind of like jam it back into the dashboard in order for it to be a steering wheel again.
Yeah, that's I'm not a diagnostician. I don't think that's supposed to work that way.
And then once we were at a stoplight and I was just sort of idly leaning on the steering wheel and it came off. The steering wheel. And Scott Lamb can back this up. This sounds like a fake story. And it was just connected by wires. And what did I get to do with Scott Lamb in shotgun? I got to say, quick, take the wheel. And give him the wheel. And that's one of the most favorite memories I have. And we were at a stoplight, people start beeping at us as the light turns green. And we're like, we have no way of doing car stuff right now. You just have to go around. And we had to get it towed. The reason I think that I'm
like you couldn't put it back in and relodge it? No,
it was. See, here's why I bring all that up is when we had it towed and when the dealer was like, "Oh no, the steering wheel's over there." My father was like, "And this just happened?" And I was like, "Well, it's been pretty loose for like a couple months." And he was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, sometimes, how you have to jam the steering wheel back into the dashboard? He's like,
that's not a thing you have to do ever.
That's not a thing. None of this kind of occurred to me. I guess I was like, yep, used cars. That's how they work. You just sort of put a couple Band-Aids on and every once in a while the steering wheel falls off.
God, that's delightful.
And it just never occurred to me of like, oh, this is a real problem. And my friends' cars were pretty crap.
Yeah.
There was one, my friend TJ, he had a BMW, but like in quotes, like it was a very old BMW.
Right.
And it had a cool function where it had windshield wipers. One of them would go up and wash the windshield, and the other one would rub on the hood of his car. And our joke always was, we would be like, oh, he thinks he's doing such a good job. Right wiper's like, I'm a part of the car. I'm helping out. And it just never worked. So I've just never had any kind of basic function or self-preservation about cars because I just never
amazing.
learned about them. And when you just don't have an interest in it, it's just another language. I mean, we'll get to the idea that you said self-diagnosing is almost impossible now because with all the
Yeah.
technology inside. But even when cars were just not made of microchips, I still had no kind of idea. Now, one thing that I've always been really impressed by and I've never had is when you have like a guy or a girl, but like a personal mechanic, not a
Yeah.
personal mechanic, but like an independent mechanic who you know their name, you're seeing them. Do you have that person?
Ridiculously valuable having that
What I've
asset.
heard. I know.
100,000%. Now, I will just tell you, it comes with its challenges because, again, if you have a car that was made after 2011,
Right.
they're going to say a lot to you. I can do up like 80%, but that last 20%, you have to go to the dealer.
Right.
And that makes it very challenging for
Right.
them and for us. But, and like now one of our cars is totally electric. We can't go anywhere else. We can't go anywhere else. There are no fluids
get it
to
fixed.
change.
That's
There are
it, right?
no, yeah. So
I didn't even think about that with electric cars. It's
Yeah.
all beep and boops. You need a robot to fix
Right.
a robot. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, okay. So maybe I don't feel as bad as they are slow. Well, I know I feel bad for them, but they are getting slightly phased out, at least of some of the situation that they're in. I've always been a little bit wary also of independent car mechanics. I'm about to tell a story that it is a chain, but it made me feel like even if this chain does this, and this has probably happened to 900,000 people, but it was novel for me. I was at a Jiffy Lube getting an oil change, and a guy came in and he was holding this disc of nonsense, and he was like, "This is your air filter. Look how dirty it is. Do you want to replace it?" And I was like, not this time. I didn't have enough money. Like I was barely sort of scraping by. This was a zillion years ago. And he was like, you sure? It's pretty important. I was like, I'll do it next time. I promise I'll put it on the list.
Yeah.
So he goes, okay. And he leaves and he goes back into the garage and I'm standing up at the counter. I don't know if he knows it, but there's a camera pointing at the garage so we can see all the work that they're doing.
Yeah.
And I see him walk by and the air filter, my quote unquote air filter that he's holding, I see him just throw it in the trash. It was not my air filter. It was a scam. He had a gross air filter
Wow.
that was not my air filter and was trying to upsell me for something that apparently I didn't need because he just threw it in the trash. And ever
Wow.
since I was like, all right, Jiffy Lube. And I say it
You
like
know, I'll tell you, we have it used to be a Jiffy Lube and now it's like a Valvoline or something. They've changed brands. But what I like about those guys is that they're the ones that do the oil changes and all the filters and stuff while you're sitting in the car watching them. Like they literally, you watch them
You're
take
in
out
the
the air
car.
filter. Yeah. You just pull up over a bay so there are people under you and they just do everything like you're in a pit crew situation. And it's great because they can't scam you, right? There's no
Right.
scam. You're watching them take your filter out and show it to you. And then they show you a new one next to it. And they say, see? And then I say, what would you do if it was your car? And they say, I think you're probably fine. They've been really good.
That's great.
So,
My way of getting around all this stuff, and I don't feel great about it, but it's just the way, and it was also sort of the way that I was brought up. I just always go to the dealership.
Yeah.
I go to, if they have a service center, the place where I bought. And I know that the con of that, I mean, not con like a trick, but like con.
pros versus.
Con is you're probably overpaying.
Yep.
That's just sort of how it goes. The overhead, because they have overhead. I mean, it's just so much more you're overpaying. But at my place, one of the things that they do is before they do any work, they do a full on video walkthrough and then send it to me.
Yeah.
And so that's the version of being in the car is they send it to me and then they don't do any work without checking it. And I can say, yes, 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 no, 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 that kind of thing. And that's kind of what I feel comfortable with. Also the dealership, and this is just me talking to myself, the dealership doesn't intimidate me as much as I feel like regular mechanic shops do.
Mm-hmm.
The times
Totally
when I've had a vehicular emergency, and have needed to go to like the nearest place. Like I can't, this is not a make an appointment at your dealership situation. It's the same feeling that I get. We've talked about like when I walk into a Home Depot where it's like,
Oh yeah.
I need an adult. Like that scent of lumber hits me and I'm immediately 4 years old and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And just the embarrassment of, because I just don't know what any of these lights mean. And a lot of the lights just mean problem. Like a lot, there's the under check engine is like 19 things now.
Yes.
And so it's just sort of problem. And I haven't had to do it a lot, but I have had to do that very cliche, gross thing of, well, at one point it sort of was like, rumba, 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 rumba. And then later it was like, ka-chunk. And I'm like, ugh, I'm so lame. And I can just assume that they are judging me. And then they'll be like, well, have you checked the fan belt? And I'll be like, that's your job. I don't know
what belt? It's my belt's fine.
Yeah, I just roll in and I'm like, I'll take all your air filters. Just please be nice to me. I'll take every air filter you have. I'll just stack them up. And there's none of that at the dealership. So, but I do feel like kind of a punk. As an adult, I feel like I should have a person. But
I think the new, because what year is your car?
Oh, I got a new car this year. Yeah. Or just last year.
Okay, so it's brand new, right? That's your cycle. Like how often do you find, do you lease, do 3 years and get a new car?
No, I keep
how do you
cars
do it?
for forever. My last car was from 2016.
Okay. So you're on kind of a 10-year plan, roughly.
Yeah, I'm very, very loyal and part of that is because I don't care about cars. So I get a car, I immediately fall in love with it. I name it, and then I just keep it until it doesn't make sense anymore. Like when you take it in, my last one, the only reason I had to sell it and get a new one is because it was still in good shape, but it was just so old that every natural check
was happening.
Check out the
Everything
thing was
happening.
like $12,100. It was just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think you're doing I think you have the right mentality about it. Yes,
Really?
you could pay less if you found somebody you trusted, but that's hard to do. We have a Volkswagen. One of our cars is a Volkswagen, and it's a 2017, and it has some smarts to it, but also a lot of stuff that you have somebody who goes to has a good specialty in European cars can just fix a lot of stuff. And Kira happens to be my wife. Kira happens to be on a swim team with the mechanic who runs a European car independent shop.
I love all of that.
They swim together. What are the odds, you think, of him trying to scam us when they have to get in the pool together the next day? Right?
Right. Yeah.
Like my confidence level is pretty high with them. But the same can go for the dealership. Like we've been buying Hyundais for a long time. We like Hyundai, and the local Beaverton Hyundai has been very good to us. And the people in the service center know us and we know them, and they've not turned over, right? So you get the same people that you're dealing with, and we've developed a relationship. We may not swim with the guys, but we trust them because of years of support. I think you're doing the right thing. The more important thing is just making sure you're doing the service.
Right, that I'm keeping up with the stuff. Yes.
When I was a kid, it was easy to ostrich, right? It was easy to see a light and just pretend like the steering wheel was in the way and I never saw it, right?
And I would just do that. Well, obviously, I did that my steering wheel fell out. Yeah.
Until your steering wheel fell out. Man, what an object lesson you are. That's incredible.
It was, I'm an exciting person. It does. I appreciate you saying that. And there is backup on the internet. I did look up some stuff and they said exactly what you said of back in the day. Yeah, it made more sense. But now the dealership has legitimate experts that know everything about this one car. Yeah. And that just doesn't happen with all the beeps and boops anymore with independents. So I feel better about it, which is good. But I still want a guy or a girl. I just want a person. But
here's the thing a dealership can do. We had a hybrid electric Hyundai during the pandemic, and it's an electric car. It has a big plate of batteries underneath it. Okay. And that plate of batteries, the giant EV battery, failed. And so we took the car into the dealership and they said, well, you shouldn't drive this. Okay, what do we do? Well, since we're the dealership and you are with us, and this car has been with us for a while, we're going to give you a loaner. And we had that loaner, Tom, because it was the pandemic and it was really hard to get car parts for 4 months.
That's not a loaner. That's a keeper.
Right? We drove a brand
Wow.
new loaner, service loaner that had, I mean, we walked out and it had 80 miles on it. And we brought it back and it was like, 2,500 miles on it. Like it was our car. And what service center can you do that with? Like,
Right.
Independent, like those kinds of things are really, they just further reinforce,
Right. Yeah.
what you need to do.
They'll be like, I don't know, I can give you a ride to Kroger or something.
I can
Hop
point
in.
to you at the bus stop, or I could let you use my phone to log into your Uber account, because I'm sure as hell not going to comp you, right?
Yeah, you can use our landline to cancel all of your appointments. Is that a good way to help you?
Here's one that I do want to say. Les Schwab. Have you ever done a Les Schwab experience?
No.
Oh
What
my
is
God, Les Schwab.
Wait, but why does that sound so familiar? Okay. Oh,
They're
Charles
huge.
Schwab. That's what I'm thinking.
Charles Schwab is not what we're
I
talking
actually
about.
have a Charles Schwab account. That's different. Go ahead. Charles Schwab does not want to look at my car once.
No, they do not care. Les Schwab is a tire and brake facility, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
they're all over the West Coast. I don't know how far east they go, but
Yeah.
Les Schwab is everywhere. And they are legitimately incredible customer service organization. You get a
Cool.
flat, you get a nail in your tire. You go into them and you say, I've got a nail in my tire. They'll take you within an hour and they will fix that tire for free. And you're walking out the door. And why do they do that? Because they hope that when you need new
You'll come
tires,
back.
you'll come back. What has happened to us? We have never bought a set of tires from the dealership. We always say, oh, we need new tires. Thanks. We're going to go over to Les Schwab. 100% of the time we go to Les Schwab. They are the best. We love them. Their advice has always been great. And they help us actually process tire decisions and brake decisions. Love those guys. Cannot recommend them enough. Les Schwab Tire Centers. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Are we trying to get sponsored? This is exciting.
That was it. I think we are. I think we are.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Go to leschwab.com/adulting.
It's almost Valentine's Day. Maybe we're trying to get a little tire hookup. I don't know. How much fun is washing your clothes?
Loads. What happened to the leopard that fell into the washing machine?
He came out spotless. Why was Billy Joel's laundry still wet?
Because he didn't start the dryer. And then there's the harrowing tale of the middle-aged adult podcaster who was unable to write a segment. The Feeling Friends portion of the episodes were personal favorites of him and his co-host, but this time he was coming up dry. For his topics to choose from were car maintenance and/or laundry, and he was finding a difficult way to spin a funny or whimsical or surprising story about either topic. Cars in general? Sure, but it had to be about car maintenance. That was more difficult. And laundry, let's just say that tragically, on only the second episode of the 11th season, his intellectual engines were grinding to a halt and his storytelling spin cycle was slowing to a crawl. After hours of research, all he had were a list of non-starters, basic factoids about each topic that couldn't be stretched into a full segment. For instance, he now knows that the first laundromat was opened on April 18th, 1934 in Fort Worth, Texas. It was called a washateria and consisted of 4 washing machines rented by the hour by a man named C.A. Tannehill. Dryers were not available, so customers dragged their wet clothes home to hang on a line. And the woeful podcaster knows that the world's most dangerous car is, somewhat unsurprisingly, the Tesla, while the most expensive car to maintain is the Ram. He knows that the world's largest laundromat is in Berwyn, Illinois, and it boasts 140 washers and 170 dryers, quite a step up from Mr. Tannehill's original operation. He knows that the patron saint of automobile safety is St. Francis of Rome, and that legend had it that as darkness fell, an archangel guided her with a ball of light along her path, keeping her safe, much like headlights do for cars today. And he knows that the Greek god associated with laundry is most likely Hygeia, the goddess of health and cleanliness, and from where we get the word hygiene. And he knows the patron saint of mechanics is Saint Eligius, a goldsmith and metalworker who, at one point, cut off the leg of a horse that he believed was possessed by devils, attached a horseshoe, and miraculously reattached the foreleg, all while the horse just chilled. What? And this is what the podcaster was left with, not a viable segment, but a collection of scattered facts and legends. At least he knows them now. And at least now you do too. Want to keep your nonsensical cabinet of podcast curiosities filled to the brim? Then head on over to allthefeelings.fun and become a feeling friend today. For the season cost of $35, $25 renewing, you can get each episode early, special member-only episodes, access to our acclaimed trailer archive, and so much more. Not enough? Here's something for you. Half the internet says the first automobile recall was in 1915 because Henry Ford's Model T seat cushions were filled with Spanish moss that had chiggers inside that would bite the drivers. The other half of the internet says that's urban legend. Thanks, internet! Pete and I love doing this show, and we could really use your help in keeping the podcast pedal to the metal and the rinses keep repeating. So please go to allthefeelings.fun and become a feeling friend today. And now, on with the show.
Subsect 2.
I love to launder.
Tom, okay. Let me just tell you what I'm thinking about this whole conceit that we have going on. And this here, episode 2, is not going to be the last episode where we talk about two things that are, on the surface, largely not related to one another. So I want to tell you how, in my head, I have related these things to one another.
Oh, okay. Sure.
All right. Under the umbrella of adulting, cars, car maintenance, and laundry are both what I think of as maintenance rituals, right? These are like the repetitive, the wholly unglamorous labor of keeping your life from falling apart, right?
Sure.
In one way, shape, or form, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody dreams about oil changes and sorting darks in their dream fantasies. They just, if you do them right, they're completely invisible to you.
Yeah.
And so that's how I think about these things. These are the invisible labor of adulthood, and there is a weird identity that gets built up around these things. So let's start with just my identity as a launderer.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even know. That seemed like more regal than it probably will come out to be.
It made it seem like this is my identity of a London launderer.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like you were starting this cool song.
Yes. So the Gilbert and Sullivan Act will come later, right?
Yeah.
So first, as we've said before, I actually like doing the laundry. I like doing
That's right. You are in charge of the laundry.
Yes,
Whereas
because of domestic treaty.
Does the dishwasher. Right. Okay. That was last episode.
Grocery shopping. She doesn't do the dishwasher.
She does
hates
grocery shopping.
dishes.
My apologies.
Oh,
okay,
my dear God, man. If she ever heard you say that, she would slap you in your face.
Oh, no. In
Kara
my
likes
face.
doing dishes. She'd slap you about your face and head and neck. This was our domestic treaty, right? Where that's our negotiated settlement, where she does the grocery shopping, I do the laundry. And it's all very fine because she hates the laundry and she's not great at it and admits it. I'm objectively terrible at grocery shopping. We've established that over the course of our last couple of weeks. All right. I also find the laundry a sort of meditative process, right? I like the process. I love the sound. I think there is a sensory appeal to laundry machines. I like the sound of tumbling dryers and spinning washers. Like, I find that really soothing.
See, I don't get to experience. I live in an apartment building, and my washer dryer is common. There's like 3 on each floor, so I don't really get to experience that.
Well, you could. You just have to sit there the whole time. In fact, you probably get it more than I would. You could just go hang out and listen to other people's clothes wash, like a real normal person.
Like a real creeper. There's Laundry Tom.
So there's something about that. The other thing is, it's a process that I can wrap my head around, right? There is a very clear beginning, middle, and end. And I know when it's done, and I know when I've done it satisfactorily. And that has allowed me to develop, I think, what I consider kind of a secret competence, that I like. There's a domestic task that I feel like I have inexplicably mastered. I've done it. I've gotten pretty good at it. And I'll say quietly, but no less nobly, I am proud of it. I'm proud of my laundry. I also have a couple of linchpin moves that I did get for, I'm going to say it, Marie Kondo around folding laundry.
Joyce Sparker, right?
Yeah, she's a real Joyce Sparker. I don't follow a lot of her stuff, but she taught me how to fold clothes for drawers years ago, and that stuck. And our drawers, when I'm done with them every week, on point. You've never seen a drawer like it. The way socks, underwear, shirts, t-shirts are folded. You've never seen anything like it, unless you too are a Kondo head. So that is really satisfying to me, because there are not a lot of projects in my life. They're all so digital. Like, when I turn off my computer, all of my work goes away. And so there are not many things in my life where I can do something and then see it anymore. And weirdly, stupidly, laundry is one of those things.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense, because it's tactile when it's happening, and then you can, when I finish like cleaning out a closet, for instance, or reorganizing something, or I've been hanging a bunch of new pictures in my apartment that I will just stop and look at it every once in a while, because I enjoy the having done it and then seeing the result. It's fun.
100%. 100%. You look at pictures of loved ones. I look at folded shirts. It's the same. Same. Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel like, when you're talking about, dealing with your car and finding a mechanic, and the anxiety of maintenance when you have let your steering wheel fall off, and you don't quite understand that, I kind of feel a similar, like, I've grown into this sort of competence that it's like my laundry is just a fetish of this repetitive drudgery that I'm willing to own. And I just have kind of fallen in love with it. So now we get to talk about some things that I have learned about laundry that I think might help others.
I need all of these things. My laundry game is so basic. It's always cold. I do not separate whites and darks. I thought that was maybe a myth. I have no idea if Fabric Softener does anything. I buy it and I use it. I know nothing. So this is good. This is going to be like when you help me with how leftovers work. Am I a functioning human person?
You're still upright. The answer is yes.
Keep my cards a little closer to my chest. I feel every time I'm like, oh, that is important, so your teeth don't fall out. Okay, go ahead. I'm ready. I have my pen.
Well, I want to say you're already off to a great start, because cold does almost everything.
Right? And isn't that, I was taught that, but it seems like I'm hearing that more often, as if like this is new information that's coming out for certain people.
It is coming out for certain people, because there was a long, it starts with the separating of whites, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody says separate your whites, because you can get away with washing your whites. Your whites is in your underclothes, your undershirts, those kinds of things, you can wash them on hot because apparently they get so dirty and sweaty and gross that you have to wash them on hot. And that's the
Yeah.
myth. But that's why
Okay.
you were sorting, and because dark colors, especially on new clothes like jeans and things,
Bleed.
may bleed their
Right.
color into the laundry if washed on warmer temperatures, right?
Got
But what you find now with color safe fabrics and all kinds of like just clothing technology is that, in fact, as long as you wash on cold water, your clothes are fine. There is
Okay.
actually reason to sort, but it's not that. And
Oh.
this is what I think is going to maybe blow your mind, which we'll get to in just a second. So
Okay.
I think the only thing you need to wash on any temperature other than tap cold are your sheets and towels, right?
Right. I do
Because
do
sheets and
those on hot.
towels are shedding your bacteria into
Ugh.
them like when it's wet. And so you're
Yep.
sloughing off more goodies.
And
you want to,
fosters bacteria.
yeah, all that bacteria.
Yep.
Right. And so that's it. But really, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
That's step one. Step two, you're using too much detergent. And I say that with an emphasis because almost everyone is using too much detergent. The
Okay.
cap that you fill if you're using liquid detergent, or the scoop that has the line that says fill to here, it's
Mhm.
designed to make you pour more than you need.
Oh,
Right.
just to go through the product so you have to buy more?
I don't want to say that it's so far as like a conspiracy, but I will say that in general, you don't need as much as you need, especially because most, any newer washing machine is a higher efficiency washing machine, probably.
Oh,
And
okay.
so when you add too much stuff to it, too much soap to it, it builds residue. It's
Oh.
in the washing machine, in your clothes, they don't rinse as well. The machine starts to smell weirdly. Adding more detergent can over time cause your washing machine to stink. The cap is lying to you. That's what I'm saying. The cap is lying. So if you think about that line as a marketing strategy, you can go down to 2/3 of it, maybe half of it, and use that, and you'll probably be better. Do you need like a liquid fabric softener? Do you need some like scent boost? My verdict is no. I don't think you do. I think the less stuff you put in your clothes, the better. Sometimes you might have a little OxyClean, right? If there was a particular stain, something, put a scoop of OxyClean in the washing machine. But generally that there is the verdict is kind of uncertain about that too. It's a heavy marketing in cleaning supplies for laundry.
Yeah.
So, right. So far we're okay about washing, right?
I like it.
Clean your washing machine. Always clean it. Wipe it out. You have a shared one. What do you think the odds are that somebody's coming in and cleaning those washing machines?
My apartment building is pretty responsible, but I've never seen nor heard of someone doing that.
If you wanted to take that kind of a thing, do you have to pay for it? Is it like coin op? So I mean, you could do
credit card, but yeah.
Okay, you put a cup of vinegar, like white vinegar, in it, and run it on a hot cycle, empty, and it'll clean stuff.
I thought you were saying I have to get in there with like a washcloth, and I'm not doing that, but I'd be fine to run it with a vinegar time. Okay.
Yeah. Empty, hot cycle, little vinegar in there. It'll keep it running. And you could run that like before, on a laundry day, before you start your clothes, and you'll have a clean washing machine before you get into it. And so, yes, the machine that maintains your life also needs maintenance. It's turtles all the way down again. It's fine.
Makes sense.
Okay. The dryer, Tom.
Okay.
The dryer is where clothes go to die. Okay. Let's just get that out of the way. If you have a way to keep your clothes from heavy heat in the dryer, or not drying them as long as you normally would, your clothes will last longer. Heat destroys elastic, it shrinks cottons, it fades colors. If you want them to last, dry less aggressively. And That means medium to low heat, shorter cycles. You're pulling stuff out slightly damp and hanging them to dry the rest of the way. It is the single biggest thing that will extend the life of your wardrobe. I feel very strongly about this.
Wow. Hanging out like on a line. That's some Midsommar stuff.
Oh, it's
Feels
good.
very old school.
Yeah, it's old school. I
Yeah.
mean, you tie it to the economics of it. Like here we are, we complain about the cost of clothes while we're actively destroying them in the dryer with every load, right? Okay.
I don't think I knew that
Yeah.
dryers were so harmful.
Aggressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. They really are. So now this gets to another fabric point that I think is really important that I don't think enough people talk about, and that is sorting. Right. We talked about sorting by
Right.
color.
Yeah, which I don't
Really,
do.
you want to sort by fabric weight and not color exclusively, right?
Okay.
This is like an intermediate level move, Tom. I don't want you to get too excited about it. You don't have to master it right away. It just start thinking about it, right?
Okay.
Towels and jeans and things, they're heavy and abrasive to your other clothes. They beat up lighter fabrics. They're bullies. Jeans are bullies.
In the dryer, we're saying?
In the
or
wash and the dryer. In the wash
whole
and the
thing?
dryer.
Oh.
The whole shebang. And so T-shirts being put in with your jeans and your towels and abrasive fabrics are going to be roughed up like that somebody's trying to steal their lunch money. So sorting by weight actually extends the life of everything first.
Oh, because rough can't beat up rough.
Rough doesn't beat up rough as easily, right? Now, this goes hand in hand with make sure if you throw a hoodie in there that's a zip up, you always zip up the zipper. Do you zip your zippers before you put them in?
No, why do you do that?
Because zippers are abrasive. If you just rub your soft T-shirt against a zipper in the washing machine over and over again, you're going to get pilling on your shirts more actively. You're going to further damage your clothes. So always zip up your zippers. Turn your jeans inside out. Now you turn your jeans inside out more because they'll fade less unless you want them to fade. That's fine. But if you want to keep a little bit more color, turn the jeans inside out, button them up, zip them up, and then the zipper won't be as abrasive to any other clothes. So I've seen tale of people actually, like when you take off your socks, you ball them up and throw them in the washing machine. Don't wash balled socks, people, please. What are we? Like, let's just move on. If there's anybody who still balls their socks and tries to wash, your socks don't get clean when they're in a ball. That's it. I mean,
that's what separates us from the animals, everybody.
Come on. It's like 5 minutes of laundry prep. I feel like I've gotten you. I've let you off the hook on so many ways.
Yeah.
Just unball your socks. Don't be that guy.
Well, about all this, I've never thought of the washer or dryer as a prison yard before, but it seems like it really is. It's dangerous in there. Wow.
Yeah. So let's see. Stain treatment. You sometimes stain things, right? You got a little stain.
Right now.
All right. Look. So here's the thing. Right now, I'm actively staining something right now.
Don't worry about
You'll
it. Move
never
right
guess
on.
what. The longer a stain sits on fabric, the more it sets in the fabric. Okay.
Makes sense.
You stain something in the kitchen, get a little pasta sauce, something on your shirt, on your white shirt. Just take it off, replace the shirt with something else, put something else on. Just put a little dish soap, even if you can't deal with it right away. Just a little dish soap, even just a little cold water on it, if that's all you have. And just set it aside so that something is keeping it from setting right away. And then, then go ahead and wash it. But continue to use that. You can just use the detergent you're using as a pre-treatment. You don't need a specialty product like a stain stick or anything. But if you have a stain stick, that's great.
Okay.
Something to put on it. But the sooner you put it on, the better odds you are of getting that stain out. Now, this is why another reason that laundry is very close to car maintenance, because most of the problems are like stains, right? They're much easier to deal with immediately.
Right.
And if we let them sit too long, they will be permanent.
Yeah, they compound.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 2 more things, I swear, and then I think I'll be done with you,
Okay.
unless you have questions. One is I want to address the actual fabric softener sleeper controversy that exists.
Yeah, because I've heard rumblings of like that it's just this big con and it doesn't really do anything but make everything smell like Tide for 2 more minutes. Is that true?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. So what it's doing is I think most people use fabric softener because their parents did, right? They watched their parents do laundry and that's what they did, so we did. But what fabric softener is really doing is it's not doing anything extra for your clothes. It's coating your clothes in a thin layer of like a waxy residue that makes it feel softer, right?
Oh.
That's the mechanism. That's what fabric softener is doing.
Huh.
And that's actively bad for most things. Think, for example, about taking a towel whose only job is to absorb moisture and coat it with wax.
Yeah, that doesn't check.
Right?
Yeah.
Or activewear, like your gym clothes. These are clothes that are designed to wick sweat away from your body while you're working out. Coat it with wax.
Huh.
It no longer does its job. Right. And it degrades the clothes. So dryer sheets, they're the same problem in a different like costume, right?
That's
they're
what I
just
use,
fabric
is dryer
softener.
sheet.
Yeah, they're just fabric softener in solid form, leave the same residue. They coat your dryer's lint screen over time, which reduces airflow in the lint screen and makes it a genuine fire hazard, right? So I think that any of those extra fabric softening tools are not good for your clothes. The alternative is actually pretty simple. This is one of those I don't know when I first heard it, but again, vinegar in the laundry is really, really good. And so if you drop a little white vinegar in the rinse cycle of your washing machine, just a half a cup in the fabric softener dispenser, if you have one that has separate dispensers, it will soften naturally. It'll kill odors. It'll cut bacteria. It leaves no residue, and your clothes will not smell like vinegar. I promise. It evaporates. It's one of those things. It sounds fake, but it is a legitimate alternative to fabric softener and works great. So,
and then
one.
Okay, wow. So
what do you think? What are you feeling? Are you feeling feels right now?
I am in that. Would you? If let's say I'm not going to do the vinegar right away, but is one thing I could do is just stop using all fabric softener? Just get rid of it.
Just get rid of it. The end.
I love it. I love it. Okay. I think
you should try the vinegar. I think you should try it. I think you should give it a shot.
Okay.
Okay. Last, we have to talk about the laundry of privilege. And that, of course, is the dry cleaning. Do you have anything that requires dry cleaning?
Let's see, suits. I always dry clean. Like if I go to a wedding, I just naturally, when I get home from a trip, I give it to the dry cleaners.
Okay. All right.
And it's just like, I think I was just told to do that.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was a PA, one of my bosses, he would dry clean. I would dry clean because I was in charge of doing that for him, all of his clothes. And that included jeans. And I remember thinking,
oh my gosh,
that seems like a privileged thing.
Yeah.
Like
that is a really,
everything was like at Flair Cleaners. Yeah.
That is a really interesting, interesting way to do stuff. Yeah. I don't know that I
think some people just had too much money, Pete. They hate it. Ugh, get rid of this money.
Wow. Okay. So here's the thing about dry cleaning. First of all, do you know what dry cleaning really is? There's a trick question. Is it dry?
Oh no. Have I never even thought about what dry cleaning is? I legitimately have no idea what dry cleaning is. What I think about dry cleaning is it's expensive because it's really delicate, but it gets your clothes extremely clean. That's sort of the not thinking about it before thing of how dry cleaning works. How you do that, I have no idea. And now that I'm thinking about it, my guess is it's not dry because it involves chemicals. And these are thoughts I'm having for the first time in my life, my unexamined life. Is that true?
Yes, that is absolutely true. Now,
Chemicals. Okay.
here's the problem
Yeah.
with dry cleaning.
Yeah.
First of all, confirmed, it is not actually dry. It uses a liquid chemical solvent instead of water. That solvent is perchloroethylene, which is genuinely not great for you or the environment, but it does make your clothes seem really, really great. The clothes essentially are going into a washing machine that uses chemicals instead of water. And so there is a mystique around dry cleaning that makes it feel like the clothes are actually new, but you're really just paying for a different kind of washing machine. It is wildly disproportionate to the reality of what is going on. Dry clean only is a hedge against liability. It is not a necessity. So manufacturers will slap dry clean only on things to protect themselves. So dry clean only stuff, wool sweaters, silk blouses, any of your unstructured garments like knits and things that can pull apart and get stretched if they're violently jostled about, they're fine.